G'day, and I'm Jack. I'm here with Nurianne. I can't wait to find out more about her, and she's got a type 1 diabetes hack. Very excited to do this. Sponsored by Not Just a Patch. Let's go. Nurianne, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm very excited to talk about type 1 diabetes and my personal hack.
Oh, fantastic. For those that don't know Nurianne, she is from Aruba. And if people don't know where that is, that's just north of Venezuela in the Caribbean Sea. And she is a fantastic diabetes advocate with a plethora on her CV, starting with, and not everyone has this on their CV, Miss World Aruba. That's the full title, isn't it? Miss World Aruba 2018. Is
Yes.
that correct? Are you Miss World Aruba?
Actually, yes, I am. It's been a while, so sometimes I forget that that happened because it's been about almost 5 years ago. I participated in the national competition. I met a lot of people. It enhanced my advocacy. I learned a lot from my peers, from my fellow candidates at the Miss World. We were 118 ladies in that year in China for a month, and it was a huge growth opportunity and learning curve. It still is, honestly.
Fantastic. It sounds like it really instilled some leadership in you, and you've gone on to advocate, you've gone on to become a lecturer, PhD researcher, and I'd love to know, what are you doing?
Yes. So at the moment, I started that same year that I participated. I started lecturing just for one course at the University of Aruba, and I graduated from that program myself in 2016. So that's a while back. So I came back to the island and I had the opportunity to teach. And I thought, well, I'm not afraid to work. It's going to be my first job ever since coming back from the island. And I was doing it besides being an assistant, a research assistant to a PhD student back then. So I was doing both and competing and doing my social projects because it's quite a lot of work, to be honest. It takes a lot of discipline to be in beauty pageants or competitions. So then, after the years, there wasn't a vacancy, and I had the opportunity to become a full timer there. So now I teach different courses, research courses, management courses, but also I advise students, which I personally love. I like to help people grow and find their strength and their power. And then besides it, I thought, well, I want another challenge and I want to keep growing and learn. And I'm a very curious person. And I decided to start my PhD trajectory, and the university supported me in that. And that's about invisible disabilities. And the idea is to research and figure out how we can support people better and enhance their progress with their health outcomes or their desired outcomes for their own health. And that's what I'm doing at the moment, besides doing advocacy. And every day I try to educate people about T1D, and that's never going to change. Hopefully not. And I do that at my job, at work as a lecturer, but also everywhere I go, every time I travel. If I'm doing exercise, I'm always advocating. Basically, never stops.
I love that. I love that. And on that topic, how long have you had diabetes for?
Well, I learned about my diabetes in 2015 in June. I say I learned about it is because I have suspicions that I've had it even before that, but I never got a diagnosis. Well, who knows why and how, but it happened that way. So it's been about 8 years now that I have diabetes type 1, and I've been medicated, and my diagnosis truly helped because when you know what you're living with, the condition, you can treat it and you know which risks you run or how you can avoid complications. And I truly appreciate that. Even though it's scary, a diagnosis is scary, but it's better to know what is going on.
Definitely. I mean, once you know what you've got, you don't have to you guess you're relieved from all the fears of what it could be, and then you can get straight into management.
Absolutely,
I agree with
absolutely.
that. And wait, 2015, this is before you became Miss World, and like when your life became like even more busy than just doing diabetes. You've literally just hit the ground running. You're using it as your superpower.
It is actually. It gives me power because I think I have a condition. A lot of us have T1D, type 2 diabetes, or other conditions, but my power is that I'm very much aware of my body, how I feel, it speaks to me, it talks to me, it gives me signs, and I love that. I'm very more aware of myself as a person within my own community, but also of others. And that is
Yeah.
something that I truly appreciate from having type 1 diabetes. It taught me that everybody else is maybe struggling or living or managing a condition or something in their lives, and it makes me more aware of the realities that we live in and makes me more kind. I think it makes me feel more empathy towards others. It makes the world more beautiful.
That it does. And the fact that now that you're not only just doing it for type 1 diabetics, but it's invisible disabilities that you're focused on advocating, which is fantastic. Because one, I've always found that having diabetes is invisible, and it actually works against us when it is invisible because no one thinks you're actually ill or sick or, struggling with something. So I think what you're doing is fantastic. But what makes me really excited is you've got a great T1D hack, and this is perfect for anyone on insulin. Let's hear it. I'd love to know this hack.
Okay, so I'm a very busy person. You know, you've introduced me with a bunch of things that I've done and I do. So
Miss
I
World,
usually,
yes.
that was 5 years ago, but I'm still very busy. But I do a lot of things. I teach, I read, I do research, I exercise, I try to do a family. So everything is color coded in my Google Calendar. So I have a color for each activity or area of my life. And I thought, well, sometimes I forget that I have to use my basal insulin injection. So I use Tresiba, and then, well, what happens is that sometimes I forget if I use it or not. And once or twice it happened that I used it twice on the same evening, and I went to sleep and I had a huge, dangerous hypo, and it was very scary. I don't want it to happen again. So from then, I have a reminder on my phone so I don't forget, and I check it off just to make sure that I don't forget or know that I used it or not. And the second one is that I actually keep the needle on the pen, and then I know, well, oh, okay, I used it already, and I leave it until the morning just to make sure that I'm not using it double or I'm not missing it. And that has helped me so much just to avoid that I forget, because sometimes it does
Nice.
happen.
So just let me unpack this hack. You set it in your Google Calendar, a digital calendar with a Google alarm. Is there an alarm that goes off?
Well, I can put an alarm, but I get a notification every evening.
So you
Basically,
get a
it's,
notification,
yeah.
and then you put the needle cap, you've got the needle on until you've used it, and then you take it off.
No, I do not put the needle cap on it yet. So when I'm going to use
Okay,
it, I put it on and I leave it there for the whole evening or the morning. And then in the morning, I just check like, oh, okay, I did use it, or later in the evening, depending on when I'm going to sleep, and then I take it off. So then I know that I haven't
gotcha.
used it yet on that new day, and that I will be using it. So when I keep it, it's like, oh, I did use a new needle today, and that it also enforces you to use a new needle every time you use your insulin pen. So that's also important. And I don't forget because I'm pretty sure, okay, it's a new day with this pen. So the pen has a renewed life every day. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. You're using modern technology as well as a simple little hack with like adding a pen, needle, needle. We've all done it. We've all taken the shot and can't remember if we've taken it or not, or worse, just forgotten to take it and can't remember if you've taken it or not. So this is a great little hack, and I think this will help a lot of diabetics out there. Let us know if this is something that you're going to do in your life as a diabetic. I think digital calendars and just using modern technology to help us manage diabetes is a fantastic way to do it. Nurianne, thank you. This has been fantastic. I've never spoken to a Miss World or anyone from Aruba, so I'm
Oh
very
my gosh.
excited. Thank you. And yeah, hopefully we can do another chat in the future.
Yes, please. This was really fun. I hope my hack helps or anything that I've mentioned. This was really awesome. Awesome meeting you. And I hope that we can continue chatting about type 1 diabetes and how we can make this journey a smoother one, honestly.
Definitely. I mean, it's easier when we all do it together. We're not alone.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
No worries.